Chapter 15. Saturday afternoon, Maribel pushed the vacuum across the living room carpet, working hard to make sure the floor was spotless. Blake was going to be there within an hour, and even though she knew that they would always only be friends, she wanted to make a good impression. "Lucian, is the dishwasher empty?" she asked, turning off the vacuum. "Yeah, Mom, it's done. What's next?" The doorbell rang before she could answer. Maribel's heart skipped a beat. "Answer the door in 2 minutes." "I can do it now." "No," Maribel said as she frantically wrapped the cord around the vacuum. "Wait 2 minutes and open the door." Maribel placed the vacuum in the closet and rushed upstairs. In her bedroom, she checked her outfit for the upteenth time, a maroon wrap shirt and sensible jeans. Her hair was in her typical braids. "What if I did something a little different?" she thought. Maribel took her braids down and brushed her locks, deciding that she liked her hair hanging freely down her back. She usually skipped makeup, but she'd spent several minutes that afternoon carefully tracing eyeliner along her lids and brushing blush onto her cheeks. She smiled shyly in the mirror. It had been a long time since she'd cared about makeup or how men perceived her. Over the years, she'd actually put effort into making herself less attractive. She was dedicated to her son, but there was something about Blake that gave her hope that she could be dedicated to her son and have a close friendship? Maybe even more. Blake had always been a great friend until she pushed him away. He made her think that maybe there was hope, that she could be happy with someone and still love her son. "Welcome to the Sykes house," Lucian said, pulling the door open. "Thanks, Lucian." "So, about that question I have to ask. Can I ask it now? I've been waiting my whole life to meet you and ask this question." Blake held his breath. "Is there anything you want to say to me?" Lucian asked. Blake scratched his head. "I don't think so." Lucian nodded and motioned for Blake to come in. "Blake, we're so happy you're here," Ruby said. "Come on into the kitchen and don't pay Lucian any mind. He's too serious at times." "He's been a stand-up guy so far. I respect a man who speaks his mind," Blake said. "Really?" Lucian responded, his eyes wide with enthusiasm. "Yep. What questions do you have for me? I'm ready." "I have many, but let's start with this one. So you're a chef?" Lucian's eyes were filled with skepticism. "You don't believe me?" "I guess I do, but I've never met a chef. How do I know you're not just a cook pretending to be a chef?" It was a good question. Talk is cheap, Blake thought. Where was the proof he was who he said he was? "Fair enough. How about I prove it by making a dish of your choice?" Lucian considered the suggestion before saying, "I want Alfredo sauce with pasta." "Okay. You want to make the noodles or just the sauce?" "How long will it take to make the noodles?" "Quite a while." That's what I thought. I'm a growing boy. Let's just make the sauce." "All right. How about Alfredo pizza?" "That sounds amazing. But doesn't that take a long time to make?" "All right. So here's one of the first things that you learn as a chef. Pizza is actually quick and easy. You know your way around the kitchen at all?" Lucian held out his arms to his side and tilted his head as if to say, "What do you think?" "Grandma's taught me how to get things done around here." "Great. We'll need flour, yeast, and warm water to start." "Got it," Lucian said, heading into the kitchen. Maribel appeared on the staircase. Blake did a double take. Was she wearing makeup? "I'm sorry. He's excited to hang out with a guy," Maribel said. "No need to be sorry. I love working with kids. And besides, we're going to knock your socks off with this Alfredo sauce." "I'll believe it when I see it," Maribel said. A little smile crept across her lips. Blake felt his cheeks warm. Her hair was hanging long and straight around the edges of her face, and her smile was wide and bright. "Well, take your time and relax while we cook you a fantastic pizza." Blake and Lucian spent the afternoon baking a chicken Alfredo pizza. The two worked in tandem, chopping vegetables, stirring sauce, and proofing the dough. "So you were in the Army," Lucian said as they waited for the pizza to cook. "Yeah, I was in for about a decade." "Did you like it?" "I loved parts of it, others not so much, but that's true of most things." Can I ask you a question?" "Sure." "Are you my dad?" Blake froze. He didn't know what to say. He knew this was coming, but now that Lucian had finally asked the question, he had no idea what to say. No, he wasn't Lucian's dad. But the kid's bright eyes were longing for an answer. Not just any answer, but the revelation he'd been waiting for. We better check the pizza, Blake said, heading for the oven. Is that a yes or a no? Blake sighed and said, Kid, if I was your dad, you wouldn't be meeting me now. You would have always known me. That's what Graham said. Man, I was really hoping you were my dad. Lucien's eyes filled with tears. Blake peeked at the pizza. It still needed a few minutes. He closed the oven and headed over to Lucien. I'm not your dad, but I'm here. If you need anything or if you just want to spend time with me, I'm open to that. Just call me or stop by the house and be my sidekick in the kitchen or on the ranch. Just like I told you the other morning. We can do all those things together. He watched Lucien's face relax. It was good to see him calm down. So you're going to come over and cook with us on a regular basis? Blake laughed. Well, I haven't been a private chef before, but I guess that might be something we could arrange from time to time. What are we arranging? Maribel asked, entering the kitchen. Personal chef visits. The three laughed. It smells amazing in here, so I might allow you to come over and cook for us on a regular basis, Maribel said, winking at Blake. Ruby joined them for pizza and sparkling grape juice. Maribel and Blake reminisced about the good old days while they ate. After the pizza was gone, Ruby volunteered herself and Lucien for cleanup duties. Let's load the dishwasher and leave these two old friends to continue to catch up, Ruby said, tugging on Lucien's shirt. After they were gone, Maribel said, Thank you. You're welcome. Pizza is one of my favorite things to make. No. Thank you for what you told Lucien. I heard the conversation. I can't believe he asked you if you were his father. I'm surprised he doesn't know who his father is, Mar. I hate to pry, but I think you're going to have to tell him at some point. She nodded. You're right. I have a plan, but regardless, I really appreciate what you said to him. But Blake wasn't sure how to respond. He meant what he'd said to Lucien, but it was strange that Maribel had kept the truth from her son. Due to the delicate nature of the situation, Blake did not ask any other questions. He'd never asked about who was the father when Maribel was pregnant, but he was pretty sure he knew who Lucien's dad was. He's a great kid, Blake said. Takes after his mother. The two laughed. Can I ask you a question? Maribel narrowed her eyes. Maybe, if it's not about Lucien's father. It's not. I'm just wondering if you've allowed yourself to date over the years. You've got this great kid, and you're still just as wonderful as you were back in the day. You and Lucien deserve a good man for your family. I just want to focus on being a good mother. You can do both, you know. I can already tell you've got a great kid. I've been alone a long time. By choice, Blake said. How do you know that? Well, you didn't want me around. I would have stayed here. But you let me know there was nothing to stay for. I guess I just think you probably continued that pattern, Blake said. I didn't want you to give up your dream. And I know how much you hated living here. I pushed you away so you could live your dream. I didn't want you to be held back from achieving everything you wanted. She'd pushed him away so he wouldn't be held back? He'd never considered that idea. Was Maribel just telling him that to make him feel better? Would she have been interested in him if things had been different? Was she interested now? I would have stayed here and supported you. I know, that's why I pushed you away. I didn't want sympathy or you looking down on me. Mar, I never looked down on you. Why would you say that? Blake had to work hard to control the volume of his voice. Look, this isn't a conversation we have to have. The past is the past. Is it? You refused to tell me what I did wrong for all these years. Now you're saying you pushed me away because you didn't want me to feel sorry for you? I'm just finding out what happened 12 years ago, so I'm going to need a little time to digest this information. I knew this was going to happen, Maribel said, pushing the chair out from underneath the table and getting up. Mom, Lucien called from the archway between the kitchen and the dining room. What, Lucien? Maribel said, her voice tense. His face fell. I just wanted to know if you and Blake wanted some ice cream for dessert. Oh, that's sweet of you. Sorry for sounding upset, hon. I'm not mad at you. Who are you mad at? Lucien asked. No one's mad. We're just having a serious conversation, but it's over now. Ice cream sounds great, doesn't it, Mar? Blake said, flashing her a smile. Maribel sighed and said, Yes, ice cream sounds very good.